Hey everyone, this is V with Belly of the Beast Media. Happy May Day! Fuck the shitstorm, fuck the police, all cops are flammable. Check out this interview with Amazon workers on what just transpired earlier this afternoon, May Day 2020.
This is Sam Oser. We are doing a very special interview on this May Day with workers who are striking from Amazon. This is Belly of the Beast Media. We have Jordan and we have Jerry with us here today. Jordan and Jerry, could you just get what's happening today? What protests have you guys been doing? What's going on?
All right, so we actually just ended our last protest at Governor Cuomo's office. We started at JFK around 11:30. That's our warehouse. We rallied there till 1:30, and then we made our way to Governor Cuomo's office. We had to make some noise to let him know that he's the reason that this warehouse needs to be shut down. He's clearly not giving us that attention. He's caring about everybody else's lives. He has to understand that our warehouse is a breeding ground. We have a lot of people in that warehouse, 5,000. And it's going to keep growing in Staten Island, and it's never going to stop. And they're talking about reopening the state. It's not going to happen with Staten Island being the breeding ground, the warehouse being the breeding ground. And honestly, Cuomo, I'm going to say it again, Cuomo is the main man that could shut this warehouse down and have it clean.
Yeah, so Como has been largely praised by liberals. They've been really been lifting him up and saying that he's been doing very good work for New York. But here we are seeing that he's not shutting down or doing anything to help protect workers' rights with you guys, correct?
Correct.
So what are you guys demanding? So by striking, by doing this, what are your
I'll,
asks?
I'll take this one, Jordan. Sam,
Yeah.
our demands were simple demands. We started this a month ago
See you
with
later.
the intentions, hoping that they would listen to us,
Stay in touch, bro.
close the building down for a thorough cleaning with pay for us while we're waiting for them to open back up, and then to have special cleaning procedures in place. Maybe you might have had to
Yo,
hire an extra team, but it would have all been in a benefit to help keep up, keep the place clean while we're working. But in order to do anything like that, you must first empty the building so it can be thoroughly cleaned the right way.
Right.
Amazon refuses to do that. She refuses to accommodate us in any way to make us feel safe, to make us feel like they care about us. It's obvious they don't. As Jordan said, we have uh, multiple cases in there, and you're dealing with two states. So I don't think either one of these states, Jersey or New York, could heal if
thank you.
our Amazon on Staten Island is a breeding center, because that's what it is. We're just passing the virus back and forth between states at this point. Also, the customers, they're receiving they're receiving infected goods. These goods go from Amazon to Amazon. So one in Amazon that's more infected than another passes it to the other Amazon. It comes to our Amazon. We're passing it through two states. I don't see anybody healing here. Uh, Basically, we started this because we were in fear for ourselves, but mostly for our families. I myself have two grandchildren at home, and I am not going to bring that home to them.
Mhm.
Mm,
And that's where this stems. It's this disease is nothing to play with. This virus is nothing to play with. It's getting around just through Amazon, through to the customers, to the employees. It's just one big cesspool. It's one big mess, and we need Governor Cuomo to intervene at this time and do something about it. Clearly, he hasn't said one word, and he knows that we've been protesting all this time. So, uh, I mean, basically that. We're reaching out to the governor. We want to hear his stance on this. Like you said, liberals have been upgrading him like he's been doing great. Well, obviously he hasn't, because I know we've been on the news, and I know he sees this. He has not yet to mention anything.
Yeah. So you guys have been doing, you guys
Yeah.
started a month ago. What retaliation have you guys faced during the month-long
Thank you.
movement?
I'll take this one too, Jordan, because Jordan's not quite finished out the door yet. That might happen for him today, but I was
Oh no, I'll get to
terminated.
that.
I was
I'll get to that.
terminated a week ago. That's how their retaliation against me.
Mhm.
To other employees across the nation, they have done the same thing, terminated them. That's their answer to this.
Yeah, that was part of my game plan, because so with the question you was going back to before, I have an underlying medical condition called lupus nephritis. I have a weak immune system. I cannot be around the virus. As you see, like I'm far away from everybody.
Just hold your head.
I'm far away from everybody.
Please?
And what they did was we had a policy where we were allowed to stay home for 2 months. I took a month off of a personal leave, and when I came back, or when I was supposed to come back, they never put me back on schedule. I stayed out putting UPT in unpaid time just to stay out because I have a medical issue. And on top of that, my mom is a nurse. She gives the test out. So being around the warehouse, I'm already at a great risk. And just being next to my mom, like that's how serious it is. Serious it is. Just standing next to my mom, I could possibly catch it. And that's what I feel every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So there has been zero acknowledgement about your health issue, and from state to state, there's been no process in uh, sanitizing any of the materials coming in and out of Amazon and y'all's warehouse that y'all are in.
No.
So what they did was they're not saying they took we had hand sanitizer all over the warehouse. They took that away. They only have 2 hand sanitizer dispensers by the main break room where you first walk in.
They
Not by the
took the
bathroom,
sanitizers away?
all the way. All hand sanitizer bottles away. Put it by the main break room, and it's only two. Only two. 5,000 workers, and there's only 2 dispensers. That's to tell you something. Everybody's gonna be waiting online, and by the time they finish, that's their lunch break or their 15-minute paid break. And that's already scary as it is. The items, they're only saying that they're cleaning the items. They're going back in the cameras and wiping the items down. Yeah, you can wipe it down, but what if someone's asymptomatic still in the warehouse touching that product later on? Then we're delivering it right to your doorstep or giving it to another warehouse.
Exactly.
How are you guys getting, or were you guys getting hazard pay at all?
I don't know what they considered
And
that
it's,
extra $2 they were given. That's all it was labeled as. You getting an extra $2 during the pandemic.
yeah, double
Was it
pay,
considered
overtime.
hazard pay? I don't think so. They never said it was hazard pay. I think it was more bait pay to have you just work because you can make $2 more an hour. Your check will be a little fatter and you'd be happy. That's the way they see things. We'll just pay,
And people
give them a
tend to
little more
forget
to
that.
work with.
And people tend to forget that they're still being taxed. So that, yeah, you could be happy saying that you got a $2 raise, but guess what's gonna happen? You're getting taxed the same thing. So yeah, you probably get an extra $100, but all that's still being taxed at the end of your payroll.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you guys have been organizing for a month. More and more people are getting fired. So now you guys don't have to answer this particular question because it goes into, how you guys were organizing. But like, if you guys want to answer, how were you guys communicating during this process?
Yeah, I
What do
can
you
take this one
mean?
too.
Like, you mean from the
Jerry, I
get?
can take this one. I can take this
Okay.
one, Jerry. Don't worry. So March 31st, which was our first protest, it made a lot of noise. We actually had New Jersey walk out that same day. Then we had Michigan walk out that Wednesday, April 1st. Then we had Chicago also protesting. And we had Detroit. We had a bunch of other states already, other cities already protesting. And after they seen what we did, they wanted to do it again. And as they're doing it, we got in contact with them or they got in contact with us on social media. So around this time, we're playing with only 4 or 5 states. Let's just say 4 or 5 states right now. And as we're planning, more warehouse workers started seeing what we were doing. They wanted to be along. Then probably 2 weeks ago, he only had Amazon workers on a Zoom call. Me, Chris, Derek, we all had a Zoom call only with Amazon workers. Then following week, we actually started getting Target, Whole Foods, Instacart. These other companies that work with Amazon besides Target, they all tagged along, which made us a bigger crowd. So
Right.
the more we had, the more power we would have for the people. So we actually they got in contact with us through
Okay.
Amazon workers, through other socialist groups, and we just started planning bigger and bigger things. What movement can we do next? And then that's how we got the idea of May Day, which is the most important day,
It's the
to
most
get
important
that
day.
any message you want can be out. And this is the message right now. Amazon workers are unessential. These doctors and nurses are. They wearing scrubs. They're wearing face masks and gloves. Amazon workers, to be honest with you, all we wear is a vest. A vest cannot protect us from a virus. That's all we wear.
Are you guys allowed to wear y'all's masks inside while y'all are
Yeah.
Yes.
working? Yeah. Okay.
Now they implemented that. Yes, now they implemented that.
Now they implemented that? How
As
That's what
of
I was going to take, Jordan. I was going to
okay,
say that.
Jerry.
Since we started this, there was nothing implemented. Okay, it was Amazon. Heck, in the end of February, when the pandemic was more or less announced, they had a party. And like going into March, they had a little party, a little get together. It was crowded around there. After that, that's when we really took notice. And the following days, we got together and started organizing, and we went to the manager's office to ask them, what do you intend to do about cleaning this building? You have infected people in here, and you have done nothing to clean the building. Uh, Basically, that's where we're at right now. I mean, this whole thing, we have nurses, we have MTA down with us now. We are all joining together. It's a beautiful thing as far as that goes.
mhm.
Yes, we are, solidarity is the key.
Solidarity is the key.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
do you know how many cases are in your warehouse? Have they reported that?
So
No, that
I'll
was
take that one,
another
Jerry.
problem.
I can
Let
take
me
that
get
one.
this one down.
All
Basically
right.
nobody even knew when the first case entered. All Amazon did was say to you in your little message, your weekly message, hey, stay safe from COVID-19, wear gloves and masks. They weren't supplying them, but they were telling you to do this. And then the following week, they hit us with, we have additional COVID cases. And that's how they started doing it. So we don't know when the first one came in or left. I don't think they have a count.
So yeah, so I want to. So what they're telling us is, well, I can't say specifically me, but they're telling the workers inside there's only 25. Now we're in a month in, and New York City's the highest, so we
Mhm.
already know it's not 25 in there. And even if it's so, people are asymptomatic to it, meaning they show no symptoms right away. So who knows how many people in there walking around right now with that virus and don't even know?
Yeah. I mean, just because you don't get infected or don't feel sick doesn't mean you can't be asymptomatic. I mean,
Right.
and if you're asymptomatic, it means you'll go home and give it to somebody that you didn't want to give it to because you didn't know you were sick. In which case, Amazon's not notifying you that people around you are sick.
Mhm.
So this is what you're dealing with there. That's why most of us opted to not go to work or to take less hours, during this whole thing as I did, because you don't know. I mean, you just don't know. You could be bringing this home. I have grandkids at home, and I do this especially for them. I got a 2-month-old grandson. I have a grandson that's 7. Heck, I have a son that's 7 in another state that wants to come up and see me even for the rest of the summer. But we know why he's not here with these conditions. But I mean, all that is factored to me. I love
Yeah.
my family. I'm not going to put them at risk, for a job that doesn't care about me. I mean, it doesn't care about us. It does not care about us. Because what they're doing is we're replaceable. That's the way. We're just like a part in the assembly line. We're replaceable. Throw Gerald out, let that new guy come in and take his place. We don't need his BS. That's the way they do things. You know, it's always been like that since I've been at Amazon. I've been there for almost 2 years. And I mean, it's just been a slave factory since I've been there. I mean, I've worked. I've been a boss before. I've been all over this country. working. And I'm going to tell you, my 50 years, even though they might have paid decently, it was the worst job. It's the worst. As far as conditions, the way they treat you, they have no respect for their workers.
Do
How
they
could you
do,
work for somebody that has no respect, that has no care for
yeah. Do they do like, the surveillance in y'all's warehouse where, where you have to stick to the 15-minute breaks and then like,
Yeah.
it's like totally surveillance state in there?
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a total surveillance system in there, but that's not the way it's done. They're not using the surveillance to watch you. It's the algorithmic computer. Just your regular, maybe a step above Excel program that takes stats on what you're doing for the day. And if you're not meeting those stats, the computer automatically gives you a write-up. So the human, there's no human concept in here. I mean, your manager, they're saving their managers because you can't really scream at your manager because your manager didn't write you up. It's the computer that wrote you up. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
And
no,
it's a
definitely.
standard program with no feelings, no concept of humanity, and it's ridiculous. Because it's not taking into consideration if you had to go to the bathroom, if you had to go run and get a new battery for your gun. It doesn't take that in. It just lists, oh, you got 15 minutes astray, time off task, Then you have to
Right.
go explaining to the manager why you have time off task before they'll either erase it or they'll let the computer write you up. That's the way it goes there.
Okay.
So basically, there's no human element involved when people are getting written up. It's a computer system that's not even on the level of an AI intelligence. It's a standard program that's just programmed, hey, if he doesn't make 60% stat, write him up.
Right. So you guys have a computer that's writing you up. There is 2 hand sanitizers for 5,000 people, and
Yes.
you guys have been doing a protest movement for a month now.
Our third one.
Yeah.
Today is our third one. Day first
Today
is
is
our
your
third
third
one.
one.
Actual protesting a month now, actually taking precautions. I would say in February I started. I saw this coming.
Mm-hmm. So is anybody working today? What does like the rest of the warehouse look like? Because there's 5,000 workers, as you guys were saying. So
So
what's that
Yeah.
wave looking like?
this goes back to what I said
Jordan,
before. This
we
goes back to what
neither
I said
one of
before.
us, to be honest though, in all fairness to that question, neither one of us have been in the warehouse. I can't go back in there. I'm not allowed on the grounds. I was terminated, all right, for protesting. And Jordan didn't go back in because he's not going in there with his illness. So we
Right.
can't tell you what's actually
So,
happening. We have to wait and call some friends or whatever and see what they tell us. How
but
things will
like
proceed.
I said, I could tell you from what happened. Like I said, they canceled the policy for all of us to stay home. This is how they treat us. They forced people that were staying home because they were scared were now forced to come in today.
Huh?
So who knows if that building was packed today? Who knows? But they were every worker across the nation, in our warehouse, across the world, they were all forced to go back today in conditions that are not safe.
Right.
And it's a shame. It's like there's no way out for people, I mean, if they had any despair before, they got more now because now they have to go to work.
Yeah.
And this is all like countering because of what we did or whatever. That's the way they do. This is the highest paid company in the world. I mean, this man is the #1 billionaire in the world. And
And they
this is
don't
the
pay
way, the
taxes.
cruelty. Yeah, this is the cruelty
No
that
tax.
he's spreading down to the people that make him his money. I mean, this is the way he's treating us. That's so, right here, it says Jeff Bezos does not care. I'll say it. He has showed no care. He only cares about his factories. He doesn't care about his employees. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah,
All they
definitely.
had to do, if you can make $24 billion in 2 months, you could have cleaned the warehouse and it would have cost you nothing.
Yeah.
You could have closed it down for a week and it would cost you nothing.
So what are next steps for you guys with the movement? Like what's coming up next, and how can people listening help you besides, like, you know, not shopping, not going on the website? Is there any other way that people
So
watching can help?
I could take this one. So doing the organizing, we're gonna continue. We know this is not gonna be a short, quick 3 4 month battle. This is gonna be for a while, and I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be a long fight.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they're gonna keep retaliating. You see what they're doing. They clearly don't want to clean the warehouses. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue to fight. And as we protested on May Day, this is an eye opener to everyone that's listening, any Amazon worker that's listening, that you guys have the chance now, as we're big, to step in and join us as customers online. I understand you're scared to go outside, but if you could order something that you could pick up from the store, please pick it up from the store. We don't want to deliver this virus to your house. We don't know what facilities next to you. We have no idea where you live. But just know that the United States is in a big pandemic, that these facilities are high positive cases. We will be delivering it to your doorstep. And if you really, really have to order, just limit the order. And once you get your package, don't bring the box inside. Throw it outside. And when you bring the item inside your house, decontaminate it and immediately, and I cannot stress this enough, immediately wash your hands.
Yes, because you don't know what you're getting when you get an Amazon package. You know, I mean, like he said, COVID, it likes to stay on cardboard for a long period of time. You don't know what you're doing when you get a package. It could be, the package could be infected. And I mean, that's just the truth and the reality of this whole situation.
Have you guys been able to form any unions or get with unions, other political orgs, to help more of like the unionizing part of it?
No, we haven't tried to deal with that aspect of anything yet. We're still how can I put it? We're still babies in this battle.
That's
It's
fair.
like Jordan said, it's a long battle. We all know talking here that third chaperoning is probably needed after you see the disgusting things. But it's a process, Sammy. We got to take our time and we got to follow certain steps
Mm-hmm.
that will enable us to do more against them. This is the most powerful man in the world. He has the most powerful lawyers working for him. We got to take baby steps, and as we're moving along, we're still feeling our way through. It's not an easy thing. I
Yes.
won't tell you it is. It's not.
Have you guys been able to connect with like socialist organizations in your
Yes.
community that might be able to
No,
lend
well,
help?
no, not in our community. Well, maybe. We have Make the Road, and I'm part of Make the Road New York and Community Change. And I'm also part of Socialist Alternative.
Okay.
This is a group out in Seattle. This is with City Council Sama Shawan. So she wants, her plan is to tax Amazon in Seattle and all over. She wants, because in a pandemic like this, like I said, Amazon pays no taxes. So her goal is to have this company taxed.
Cool. What else did people listening and watching, what else do you think that they need to know about what you're doing and the movement and anything else? Anything else that we didn't touch
Yeah.
on?
Well, basically, uh, pull my mask off for this one. I'm in the corner. Uh, basically, uh, what we're doing is just trying to make for everyone to wake up. There's a lot happening right now. We all know this. And we just want you to know that, to the people out there, you watch an Amazon commercial and they make you feel comfortable. It's all a lie. It's all deceitful and deception, whatever they're doing. It's not the truth. They're not a true organization. And basically, that has a lot to do with what why we've taken these steps. They have lied every step of the way. if you ask them a question, they're gonna give you an answer that sounds good, but 99.9 is probably a lie. Okay, if you ask them why they fired people, they're gonna give you other reasons. But the real reasons it's retaliation for protesting. You know, but they're gonna give you a lie, an individual lie. Well, he did this and he did that, and none of it still doesn't add up. You know, like. I mean, you know, I myself, just a fun note, they fired me on my day off. So that tells you how phony they are. You can't tell me what I could do on my day off. If I protest, I protested, but I did it on my time, not even there. So they'll just use any reason they can find. They're scandalous. They're not upstanding as a company. They're just a pack of liars, and it filters down, Sammy. It's not just the big wigs. The big wigs filter it down to the little guys. So, you know.
It's very Orwellian.
Yeah. Everybody's scared of the next person. Everybody's scared to lose their job, and this is what they do. And nobody wants to upset Mr. Bezos. You understand where I'm coming from? And so that filters down. And I can say this proudly, we are truly heroes. Because, you know, not because we're doing, but just to stand up to it, man, and to this corrupt system. Because that's what it is. That company is corrupt through and through, you know, and they haven't done right since day one. As far as what you said, like about third-party chaperoning, well, that's, you know, I mean, they get mad if you talk about stuff like this, but they made this possible. That, you know, third parties can now intervene. Because that's where this is going. They didn't want unions. They didn't want all that. But, you know, we don't have to do nothing or talk to a union. The unions are here now. They're around. They're watching this. They're watching the news. They're watching, reading the papers. They know what's happening. So when we get to, they're here before we even start our demonstrations. We haven't talked to them because that's not where our head is right now. Our head is on our original task, get that building clean. Get people, you know, to acknowledge us, to work safer, to have PPE, the correct, you know, not because we made a stink, but to have all the things in place that's needed to work under these conditions. That's what we're here, and that's what we're fighting for. We're trying to keep ourselves safe and keep our families safe. And that's just the bottom line. It's not a lot to ask. So I don't understand if we can make you $24 billion in 2 months, why you can't take these little steps to ensure our safety.
And Jordan, do you have anything to add?
No, he kind of hit the targets. You know, honestly, he by him retaliating, he's making this more of a problem than it needs to be. He has 175 facilities. He has over 750,000 workers. All you have to do is 2 or 3 warehouses a week shut down, 2 weeks pay. You know, and it's sad to say this. I really hate saying this, but we had a delivery station out where we live in Queens, New York. A delivery station shut down before a warehouse and get cleaned before we did, and we're the highest in the network, as I mentioned earlier. We have probably over 70 cases that's still growing every day, rapidly. That a delivery station got to shut down before a warehouse, and we delivered them the packages.
Well, also, just before we wrap this up, I do want the people to know how foul they are. When people are sick there, what they do is they get them to by themselves and tell them, do not tell anybody. Now, you go home. You're quarantined for 2 weeks, but don't you speak to anybody about this. All right? That's what they're doing there. So Jim, who just came from the office, who's coming back to get his stuff, they just told him he was sick. He's packing it in for the day, but I'm standing next to him for his last 10 minutes, and while he's getting his stuff and whatever. But he's not telling me because they told him, don't mention that you're sick.
Did they have to sign any documents saying, like,
you don't know,
NDA or something?
You don't know. We're not inside.
No, they don't sign any documents. What they do is it's all deceit. Hey, you don't have to sign nothing because we're not going to say that you got the virus. We're just going to let you out through the side door. We'll make sure you get quarantine pay, but don't tell anybody. This is what they're doing. They've been doing this for almost 2 months.
And you gotta understand, we understand HIPAA laws. Everyone should know what a HIPAA law is. You cannot give out personal information. That's correct. But in the warehouse of 5,000 workers, you have to let us know what department he worked in. You have to figure out what station he was at. You don't have to know his
Yeah,
name.
you don't
What
have to give
station?
a name. You don't have to give a name. Like I said, we can use John Doe again, but John Doe was in PCF today, so you know where you don't have to say who it was, but you need to have that section where he was at cleaned and have it evacuated. Until you can sterilize it. But they did nothing like that. If you're sick and they know that you most likely got it, they're not doctors, so they can't count it, but they know how to take a temperature. They know if your lungs are hurting or your throat is sore. They know, and they'll say, well, listen, we're going to send you home. We need you to quarantine for 2 weeks, just to make sure you don't have it. We're going to give you pay. Don't speak to anybody about this, all right? And just go straight home. That's how they've been doing it.
Yeah. So just one more time, how long have each of you been working there?
Me and him almost been there for 2 years now, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years?
Yeah.
What was the absolute point for you guys where it was like, I have to protest now? What was the
Jerry, I got this one.
Okay, you can take it, but I think I should take the first part, and I'll let you have the second. Agreed? What?
I agree.
You both can answer. Just one at a
That's all right,
time.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Joe.
Okay, what happened was, because Jordan wasn't exactly there this day, they had decided to have a little party, and everybody's mingling. So there's like 500 people down on the lobby in this party room, doing raffle tickets and whatever else. And they knew the coronavirus was spreading. So that's when Chris had took film of the whole thing. And, like we started discussing it, these guys are not taking this serious. So we waited for the following week, and that's when we stormed into the managers' meeting. They have a meeting, all the top managers in the morning. Say about 7 of us went into the office and asked them what do they intend to do about cleaning this building, or what safety preparations are they making for this pandemic. Nobody had an answer. They told us they'll get back to us that afternoon. Nobody got back to us that afternoon or the following day. So the next week we decided that we were going to protest. Take it from there, Jordan.
What was your moment, Jordan?
So this is me. I was actually coming back to work. I took a personal leave, like I mentioned earlier. And Chris, Gerald, and Derek, they all called me. It was like, yo, it's not safe to come back because, there's a pandemic going on. And around this time, before even our first case, it hit Seattle, where the headquarters is. It hit the headquarters first. And we actually had people from our warehouse go to the Seattle and come back. And they were actually sick in quarantine. So as this is happening, this is when they all said the UPT policy. So me, Chris, Derek, Gerald, we all got together. We got a little group, 15 people. We all protested March 31st. That's when we made the noise. That's when we asked for the face mask and everything. And I want to clear some off my chest, and for everybody that's listening, there's a rumor saying that Chris Moss tested positive for corona. That is false. Amazon said that he tested positive, and they fired him for breaking rules. The truth is, Amazon suspended him and then fired him. Amazon suspended, then fired him, but told the media just because he was next to a person that had it, he tested positive. Let me tell you about that part. He was not close to that girl. He was more than 10 feet away. And all he did was tell her to go home. And that's what she exactly did. And they're trying to say he got it. They're trying to say he got it. And it's unfair that, they had to suspend him and fire him. And they're saying that they paid him. They didn't pay him.
They
didn't pay him.
No, they didn't. And to really interject and add to that, when they did it, when they said that Chris was infected, was after, all right, they were saying he needed to be quarantined, as we all know, and he broke quarantine. That's what they say their reason for firing him is, okay? But this is the problem with that. We had already protested, okay? And we had already went into the manager's office and talked to them directly in their face. So if you felt Chris was infected and you sent them home, why didn't you send yourselves home? Because you were in contact with him. You understand what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
waited, they let him protest. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he was near somebody that was infected. He needs to be quarantined. Well, we all need to be quarantined then because we all was in that meeting room together with Chris. You didn't do that, so you didn't really believe in that. It was another lie.
There's
That's
another
what
lie.
So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. I don't want nobody to say that, oh, he tested positive. No, they suspended and fired him. And
all
it
of
was his
us
day
are
off
on
too.
lies right now. If you're terminated, most likely it's a lie. They're not going to tell you the truth of your termination. I hope they don't think that it's going to rest there because it's not. If you're fighting for your rights and you're standing outside protesting, I don't know why they would even bother to fire somebody under false pretenses because you're going to get a fight on every level. If you know what I mean. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
But that's how stupid and ignorant Amazon is because they think they can get away with anything being the richest, company in the world. They just think they can do whatever the hell they want. They can grease anybody's palm. We haven't
Right.
heard anything from Governor Cuomo. I'm not going to be the first one to say he took a bribe, but if he didn't, he certainly looks like he did because he has not answered anything. So he makes himself look guilty right now until he starts answering stuff. But that's the way it looks like, hey, I got my palm grease from Bezos, so I'm just not going to bother with that. Because you're running around every day at 12 o'clock. I look on my TV, you're on there giving a COVID report and everything else and what's good and what's bad. And you never mention Amazon. You never mention what's really going on with your MTA workers. You never mention what's really going on with some of these nurses. That's why we're all together now. Because it's ridiculous. It's out of control.
Well, so like what we're seeing now for those of like people just like listening is we live in straight up corporate fascism. We don't live in a democracy. We live where, profits are put over people. Amazon owns Washington Post. They do a lot of military contracts. They do a lot of government contracts. So there is like no real way for there to be like any justice without the people rising up. So, I mean, even if there isn't proof that Jeff Bezos and Amazon has given Cuomo money, there's still very much a big player in the global elite as we know it.
Oh, yes, without a shadow of a doubt, Sammy. Oh, yes. I mean, you're talking to more of a conspiracy person. Yes, all right? You don't want to even send me over that way because we'll get into Bill Gates and the rest of them too.
Oh, all that fun stuff. I feel you. But
I'll tell you, as bad as this virus might be, there's no way in hell I'd take a vaccine from Bill Gates. Nope. Yeah. So I mean, we'll leave that there. But as far as everything else, I mean, like you said, Bezos, he pretty much has everything, under control. And like I said, we're gonna have to fight for this one. This is gonna be a long,
do another interview.
Fight. So we're ready to dig in. We're ready. So.
Yeah. So, how can people follow you and your movement online?
This is more for me. So my email, if you guys want to contact me, my email is flowers, FLOWERS. Sorry, flowers, FLOWERS, organizer, ORGANIZER @gmail.com. My Twitter is @NLMBJAYY23. And Instagram is no limit __ JJAYY23.
Okay. I believe Jerry froze. I'm trying to unmute him too, but he's muted.
He's on the phone.
Ah, okay.
I can give you his email. His was Here is it? Sorry.
It's all right.
It's J Cream CREAM 1963 at gmail.com.
Okay. We talked to Jerry and Jordan, who are currently striking from Amazon in New York and are building movement, not just with Amazon, but with Instacart, Whole Foods. They are out there organizing and fighting against the corporate elite as we know it. This is Sam Oser with Belly of the Beast. Be sure to follow us on social media. Toodles.